Rey Mysterio is backstage for an interview with Charlie Caruso after last week. Rey had the sort of cryptic ending to the interview where, we weren't sure what the direction he was going to go to. And so I've got to give Rey so much props for this promo because his performance in this promo was phenomenal. Possibly the best promo that Rey Mysterio has ever done. And that's always been the knock on Rey, is that he connects with the kids, the fans like him, but that it's the one trick pony sort of thing. Like, Rey is what he is. He's not going to be a heel or any of that stuff, and he isn't a great talker. But it was shown here that Rey can convey himself in a way, even speaking or otherwise, with his actions, that he can connect with the audience in a way that I don't think a lot of people can. And, this promo was so good because, they were teasing that Rey was going to retire. And, Rey, the line that really drew me in was essentially Rey said, his brain he knows everything that he's supposed to do, and he knows the moves that he's supposed to do, but his body is not responding the same way that it always has. And that rings true to any aging athlete. And it can be football, it can be wrestling, it can be basketball. But there's a point in every great athlete's career when their minds and their will is completely towards and in the habits of doing things the same way it has for as long as they've been an athlete. But then at some point, their body does not respond the same way. And so I thought that gave this promo so much more authenticity because Rey just felt so relatable in that. And you don't have to be an athlete. Like, it can just be about aging. Like, that's just what happens. Your body doesn't react to things the same way. You can sit on the couch all day, every day, and eventually your body isn't going to react the same way it did earlier in your life. That's just the aging process. But it's more dominant to athletes because their body is their livelihood. It's what they make their money with. And so Rey's promo there and conveying that message just hit home. And the thing is that even with that line, like, you can watch the Rey Mysterio matches now, and he's still doing all the stuff that he was able to do back in his prime for the most part, and even a lot of new stuff that he hasn't done then. But the point is that he's losing, and so it all ties in together. And so you can look at it and say, well, he can still do all that athletic stuff, but he hasn't been able to win. And, he lost 3 straight to Andrade. He got squashed by Bobby Lashley upon returning. And he lost in the gauntlet match. I think he did win a couple in the gauntlet match. But nonetheless, the point still remains that it definitely connected with me. And so, Rey, cutting this emotional promo, and you could feel the emotion in the crowd too, because just by hearing them, it was like a gasp thing when he basically said that he's going to retire, and he says that it's time to hang up the mask, and he goes and he's going to pull the mask off his head, but in comes his son, Dominic. And Dominic, now, so this thing, I wanted to love this so much because this was a home run of a segment. But the only flaw is that Dominic, as new to wrestling as he is, and I'm sure he's not used to this sort of thing, his delivery on this promo was not good. And that's just being fair. I mean, it wasn't. I didn't think it was completely like awful, but his delivery of it just wasn't convincing enough. It wasn't heartfelt enough, and it just comes with being able to feel the moment. And I just didn't feel that from Dominic, and that can come with experience. I mean, that's the only way is with experience. And so, but the content of what Dominic was saying was excellent. It wasn't delivered well, but the content was excellent. Normally, we go in the opposite direction with WWE promos, where the guy's trying to deliver it the best he can, but the content is just so terrible that it just sounds stupid. In this case, it was the opposite. The content of this promo was very good. The delivery sucked. And so Dominic talks about how Rey promised him that he would be able to tag with his son in his debut, and and that he wants to be able to tell his children about how he teamed with their grandfather in Rey, and that leads to them embracing. They hug, and Dominic says that he's gonna make his father proud. And that was the segment. Just one of the I struggle to think of another better Rey Mysterio promo. And everything about this, other than the Dominic delivery, was excellent.